What's good, YouTube? Welcome back to another reaction. Today we have a brand new video from Kurz. We got, is civilization on the brink of collapse? This is going to be an interesting video. I already know it. Before we do get into this video, YouTube won't allow me to upload all the videos I want to upload. There's a few videos from Kurz that I wanted to upload and I can't upload, so they're all going on my Patreon. There's a link down below in the description if you guys want to check that out. Civilization on the brink of collapse. Just check it out, man.
At its height, the Roman Empire was home to about 30% of the world's population. And in many ways,
that's crazy
it
to think
was
about.
the pinnacle of human advancement. Its citizens enjoyed the benefits of central heating, concrete, double glazing, banking, international...
Didn't they have like? Didn't the Roman Empire? Didn't they have like heated floors and shit?
Trade and upward social mobility. Rome became the first city in history with 1 million inhabitants and was a center of technological, legal, and economic progress. An empire impossible to topple, stable and rich and powerful. Until it wasn't anymore. First slowly, then suddenly, the most powerful civilization on Earth collapsed. By civilization, we mean a complex society where labor is specialized and social classes emerge, and which is ruled by institutions.
So what is he trying? It kind of just became normal. Do you know what? I kind of want to watch a video on like how the Roman Empire fall or fell or stuff.
Civilizations share a
That'd be really
dominant
interesting
mutual language and culture, and domesticate plants and animals to feed and sustain large cities, where they often construct impressive monuments. Civilization lets us...
Rome is literally top 3 places I want to visit, and I really want to see the Colosseum.
Become efficient on large scales, collect vast amounts of knowledge, and put human ingenuity and the natural resources of the world to work. Without civilization, most people would never have been born. Which makes it a bit concerning that collapse is the rule, not the exception. Virtually all civilizations end, on average, after 340 years. Collapse is rarely nice for individuals. Their shared cultural identity is shattered as institutions lose the power to organize people. Knowledge is lost, living standards fall, violence increases, and often the population declines. The civilization either completely disappears, is absorbed by stronger neighbors, or something new emerges, sometimes with more primitive technology than before. If this is how it's been over the ages, what about us today?
Yeah, but like, times are different, right? Times are so different. And like, I talk to people about this, about like the wars and stuff. Times are different. Like, even though the Russia and Ukraine was like very scary and shit, but like, most of the world is entwined with each other. Back then it wasn't. So like, the Roman Empire, there was all Romans, right? There was never a mix. Now, every country's mixed. Well, not every country, but you know what I mean. A lot of the countries are mixed now, and it's just times are different. Times are changing. And it's a good thing as well.
Just as Europeans forgot how to build indoor plumbing and make cement, will we lose our industrial technology? And with that, our greatest achievements, from $1 pizza to smartphones or laser eye surgery.
Oh my god, a $1
will all
pizza?
This go away too? Today, our cities stretch for thousands of square kilometers. We travel the skies. Our communication is instant. Industrial agriculture with engineered high-yield plants, efficient machinery, and high-potency fertilizer feeds billions of people. Modern medicine gives us the longest lifespan we've ever had, while industrial technology gives us an unprecedented level
this is sounding all good right now,
even though we haven't yet learned to attain them without destroying our ecosphere.
Yeah.
There are
many videos
still
on that.
different civilizations around today that compete and coexist with each other, but together they also form a singular global civilization. But this
oh my god, the only way that this video can make sense, civilization on the brink of collapse, intergalactic, you know what I mean? Like other planets, right? Other planets, they might want to crush us. They might...
Globalized civilization is even more vulnerable in some ways than past empires, because we are much more deeply interconnected. A collapse of the industrialized world literally means that the majority of people alive today would perish, since without industrial agriculture, we would no longer be able to feed them. And there's an even greater risk. What if a collapse was so deeply destructive that we were unable to re-industrialize again? What if it ruined our chances of enjoying a flourishing future as a multiplanetary species? A global civilizational collapse could be an existential catastrophe, something that ruins not just the lives of everyone alive today, but all the future generations that could have come into being.
But like, how? I don't understand how it could collapse. So, other than like there being a nuclear war, how else is it going to collapse?
All the knowledge we might have discovered, the art we might have created, the joys we might have experienced would be lost. So, how likely is all of this?
Oh, here we go.
Let's start with some good news.
Here we go.
While civilization collapses have happened regularly, none have ever derailed the course of global civilization. Rome collapsed, but the Aksumite Empire, or the Teotihuacans, and of course the Byzantine Empire, carried on. What about sudden population crashes? So far, we've not seen a catastrophe that has killed much more than 10% of the global population. No pandemic, no natural disaster, no war. The last clear example of a rapid global population decrease was the Black Death, a pandemic of the bubonic plague in the 14th century that spread across the Middle East and Europe and killed a third of all Europeans and about 1/10 of the global population.
Wait, what is the stats for then COVID, right? Because COVID is like the worst pandemic we've had in our lifetimes, and you know, for a while. So what is the stats for that? Like, is it even a slight percentage? Is it like what, 1, 2? Like, probably not even that.
If any event was going to cause the collapse of civilization, that should have been it. But even the Black Death demonstrates humanity's resilience more than its fragility. While the old societies were massively disrupted in the short term, the intense loss of human lives and suffering did little to negatively impact European economic and technological development in the long run. Population size recovered within 2 centuries, and just 2 centuries
Imagine
later,
being around
the
when Black
Industrial
Death was
Revolution
there.
began.
Fucking hell.
History is full of incredible recoveries from horrible tragedies. Take the atomic bombing of Hiroshima during World War II. 140,000 people were killed, and 90% of the city was at least partially incinerated or reduced to rubble. But against all odds, they made a remarkable recovery. Hiroshima's population recovered within a decade, and today it's a thriving city of 1.2 million people.
Holy shit!
None of this made these horrible events any less horrible for those who lived through them. But for us as a species, these signs of resilience are good news. Why recovery is likely even in the worst case. One thing that's different from historic collapses is that humanity now has unprecedented destructive power. Today's nuclear arsenals are so powerful that all-out global war could cause a nuclear winter and billions of deaths. Our knowledge of our own biology and how to manipulate it is getting...
Bro, that is the only... Like, I feel like with diseases and stuff, like, we can be prepared for... Well, you can't really prepare for it, but, you know, we do have the scientists and stuff that can, you know... We have better odds of surviving a virus, right? But a nuclear war... That is the only way where we're going to just wipe ourselves from the planet. That really is. But hopefully, fingers crossed, that the people in power and the leaders, they're not as fucking psychotic. So hopefully we should be good.
So advanced that it's becoming possible to engineer viruses as contagious as the coronavirus and as deadly as Ebola. Increasingly, the risk of global pandemics is much higher than in the past. So we may cause a collapse ourselves, and it might be much worse than the things nature has thrown at us so far. But if, say, 99% of the population died, would global civilization collapse forever? Could we recover from such a tragedy? We have some reasons to be optimistic. Let's start with food. There are 1 billion agricultural workers today, so even if the global population fell to just 80 million, it's virtually guaranteed that many survivors would know how to produce food. We don't need to start at square one, because we could still use modern high-yield crops.
How hard is it to produce food? I'm pretty sure you just put... I'm going to sound so stupid now, but you put a seed in the ground, you water the seed, and boom, you get food, right? Okay, it's probably good that we know, you know, there's going to be people, there's a lot of people that knows how to create food.
Maize is 10 times bigger than its wild ancestor. Ancient tomatoes were the size of today's peas. After
Wow.
agriculture, the next step towards recovery would be rebuilding industrial capacity like power grids and automated manufacturing. A huge problem is that our economies of scale make it impossible to just pick up where we left off. Many of our high-tech industries are only functional because of huge demand and intensely interconnected supply chains across different continents. Even if our infrastructure were left unharmed, we would make huge steps backwards technologically. But then again, we are thinking in larger timeframes. Industrialization originally happened 12,000 years after the agricultural revolution. So if we need to start over after a massive collapse, it shouldn't be that hard to reindustrialize, at least on evolutionary timescales. There's a hitch though. The Industrial Revolution was fueled literally by burning easily accessible coal, and we are still very much reliant on it. If we use it all up today, aside from making rapid climate change much worse, we could hinder our ability to recover from a huge crisis. So we should stop using easy-to-access coal, so it can serve as a civilization insurance in case something bad happens.
Hey, this is a topic for the big boys, man, with the coal topics. So they need to find some other ways to fucking do their shit without coal.
Another thing that
For
makes
many
recovery likely
reasons
is that we'd probably have most of the information we need to rebuild civilization.
See, that's the good point there, right? Is like, if it did collapse, could we rebuild? Of course we could rebuild, because we literally have the information of what we should do and how to do it. It's not like 200 years ago when you didn't even know that these things could exist. Like, we know what we should do, we know how to do it, we know how to build it. It will take some time, but it definitely will be rebuilt.
We would certainly lose a lot of crucial institutional knowledge, especially on hard drives that nobody could read or operate anymore. But a lot of the technological, scientific and cultural knowledge stored in the world's 2.6 million libraries would survive the catastrophe.
There's that many libraries? There's 2.6 million fucking libraries? Holy
The post-collapse survivors would know what used to be possible, and they could reverse engineer some of the tools and machines they'd find. In conclusion, despite the bleak prospect of catastrophic threats, natural or created by ourselves, there is reason for optimism.
Would it not be
Humankind
any
is
YouTube?
remarkably resilient, and even in the case
bro, just YouTube how to build a toaster. You chilling?
of a global civilizational collapse, it seems likely that we would be able to recover, even if many people were to perish or suffer immense hardship, even if we lost cultural and technological achievements in the process. But given the stakes, the risks are still unnervingly high. Nuclear war and dangerous pandemics threaten the amazing global civilization we have built. Humanity is like a teenager, speeding around blind corners.
Do you reckon, right, put it this way, right, you know, let's say 1,000 years ago or even 500 years ago, when the Roman Empire and stuff was around, you know, if you gave them nuclear bombs, do you think we'll still be here today? I genuinely believe, like, 500 years ago, nuclear bombs, we won't be here today. So 500 years in the future, are humans going to be on the planet? Do you know what I mean? Think about it. It's mad. It's actually fucking mad. I know times have changed a little bit, but fuck.
Drunk without
Scary,
a
man.
seatbelt. The good news is that it's still early enough to prepare for and to mitigate these risks. We just need to actually do it.
Right, that was a really good video. I enjoyed that one. Hopefully you guys did enjoy it too. If you did, make sure you leave a thumbs up. Make sure you guys subscribe. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section, as well as videos that you want me to watch. Make sure you guys do your part to not blow up this goddamn planet, and I'll see you all in the next video.